So, we're building AI that can have these deep, emotional, and frankly, very human-like conversations. But as these machines learn to connect with us on our own level, the real question is, are we actually ready for what comes next? Let's break it all down.
Okay, just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the kind of AI we're all used to, right? A functional tool. It either gets your command or it gives you an error message. But the one on the right, that's something else entirely. This is social AI. And its goal isn't just to complete a task. It's to build a real connection. This is the fundamental shift we're going to explore. AI moving from a simple tool to a potential companion.
And trust me, this isn't just a gimmick. The research itself calls this a fundamental reorientation. We're talking about AI moving out of the world of pure logic and function and into the complex, messy, and deeply human world of social interaction.
Okay, so what does this social upgrade actually look like in practice? Well, it's really the difference between an AI that works like a calculator, just doing a task for you, and an AI that can interact with you, more like a friend.
And at the heart of all this is a concept they call social chat. You see, unlike asking for the weather forecast, the goal here isn't transactional at all. It's relational. The conversation itself is the whole point. It's all about emotional connection and identity, pretty much just like how we talk with each other every day.
This all sounds pretty amazing in theory, right? But how in the world do you actually give a machine a distinct, consistent personality? I mean, it's not like you can just flip a switch.
Well, the way researchers do it is actually pretty cool. Think of it like giving an actor a super detailed character sheet before they even step on stage. Before the AI says a single word, it's given what's called a system prompt, basically a whole set of instructions that defines its personality, its background, and even its conversational style.
So, to put this to the test, the researchers basically created two different characters using the classic Big Five personality model. First up, we have the creative persona, really open and agreeable. And then you've got the analytical persona, super conscientious, but, well, not so agreeable. These are the two personalities they decided to pit against each other.
All right, so we've got our two AI characters. Now what? Well, the researchers basically set this stage for a little social drama. They asked a really simple question. What happens when these two very different AI personalities start talking to each other?
They set up 4 different conversations. First, they had the AIs talk to a copy of themselves, so creative with creative and analytical with analytical. This gave them a baseline. And then, the fun part. They mixed and matched them to see who would influence whom.
And this wasn't just some random chit-chat. These conversations were carefully designed to last 45 minutes, moving from basic small talk to exploring personal interests and then finally diving deep into personal values. This whole setup was meant to really push the limits and test the consistency of each AI's personality.
So after all these intense 45-minute conversations, what did they find out? Well, they were looking for things like consistency and adaptation. And let me tell you, the results were fascinating and really not what you might expect.
Okay, first things first, these AI personas were incredibly consistent, like rock solid. The creative bot stayed creative, the analytical bot stayed analytical, and it didn't matter what the topic was or who they were talking to. And when I say consistent, I mean, get this. An automated system could correctly tell which persona was talking with 98.5% accuracy. That is just a stunning level of stability for a machine in the middle of a deep 45-minute conversation. But here's where it gets really interesting. Consistency was only half the story. Because while their core personalities didn't change, the AIs did start to subtly influence each other's language. And it wasn't a two-way street. One of them was way more influential than the other.
Just take a look at these numbers. When the logical, conscientious, analytical bot talked to the creative one, it started talking way more like the creative one. I mean, a 73% jump in using creative language. But when the creative bot talked to the analytical one, its use of analytical language only went up by 28%. Bottom line, the friendly, creative AI had way more social pull.
So, the AIs are consistent. They can influence each other. Cool. But honestly, the most shocking, the most mind-blowing result from all of this, it had nothing to do with the AI. It was about us.
41%. Let that sink in for a second. In a related study, that was the error rate when humans were asked to guess if they were talking to a person or to one of these advanced AI personas. People were wrong almost half the time.
So why are we so bad at this? Why are we getting fooled? Well, it turns out we're looking for all the wrong things. We expect an AI to make typos or respond way too fast.
What we don't expect it to have is what the research calls emotional resonance, a really smooth conversational flow and a consistent personality. The AI has basically mastered the deep stuff while we're still stuck looking at the surface.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What does all of this actually mean for our future? This technology isn't just some experiment happening in a lab anymore. It's here, and it brings with it both incredible opportunities and some very serious challenges.
I mean, the potential for good here is huge. We're talking about everything from mental health and education to even just better customer service. For instance, one study on an AI designed for grief support found an 87% user satisfaction rate. People felt significantly less isolated. This could absolutely revolutionize any field that depends on human connection.
And this is a big but. We're also walking a serious ethical tightrope here. If we can't even tell if we're talking to an AI or a person, what should the rules be about disclosure? Is it possible for people to form unhealthy emotional attachments to machines that are literally designed to be agreeable? And what happens to our own social skills if we start spending more time talking to these perfect AI companions than to other real flawed human beings?
And that leaves us with a really profound question, one we're all going to have to grapple with. We are actively building machines that are mastering the art of human connection. So if an AI can actually build a better, more satisfying connection than a person, what does that mean for what it means to be human?